trouble paying attention, controlling impulsive behaviours, and being overly active. All symptoms that so commonly get tested and bucketed into the diagnosis of ADHD. Having talked with hundreds of parents about this diagnosis and the natural ways to help it, there's still a lot of confusion on if a child actually has ADHD and what are the causes and what or how can we help them without medications. In this video, we're going to look at ADHD through a different lens than just a diagnosis, unpacking it to see the symptoms and then how the brain and nervous system influences these systems of the body that bring about the attention, focus, impulse, and the control struggles. So going back to a main root cause will help truly make sense of it and find answers to address these difficulties. Who is this video specifically made for? It's made for parents who are looking for medication or drug-free options. They may have heard from a teacher, school administrator, or counsellor that medication is the only or best option, but it's not congruent with their beliefs. Additionally, some parents attribute ADHD symptoms as genetic. They struggle with these symptoms, so it makes sense to them that their child actually struggles too. This video is designed to look at ADHD through a different lens. ADHD isn't just a struggle in the brain, it's the nervous system input to the brain. And ADHD isn't just hyperactivity. It can turn into a huge energy drain as we get older, especially later in primary school, and then in teenage or young adult years. We'd love for you to share this video with other mums and parents who you know need to hear this message. So now it's time to get all sciencey. Firstly, ADHD isn't just a busy, overwhelmed brain. The body can be overwhelming the brain too. When this happens, it causes the entire central nervous system to be in fight or flight mode. The question most parents have is, where does this stress from the body, our internal environment, come from? The quick answer is from 4 key stresses that are often overlooked. The first one, high stress and high risk pregnancy. This puts mum and baby into a sympathetic dominant state, which shifts them more into a fight or flight or protective state. The second one, birth interventions such as forceps, vacuum extraction, C-section, or even induction places a physical component of stress, most commonly in the upper neck and shoulders, which overwhelms the neuromotor development. The third one, fussy or colicky as an infant with reflux or constipation struggles that continue to overwhelm their automatic or autonomic nervous system. And then the fourth one, frequent ear and/or respiratory infections before the age of 3 years old, along with antibiotic use, further add to the stress of the autonomic nervous system and the vagus nerve, the brain to gut connection. When the nervous system gets overtaxed and overworked with these 4 stresses, the signals it sends to the brain are intense protection or fight-flight response in every area of the brain. The cerebrum, the motor center in the brain. This causes kids to not be able to sit still. The midbrain, the limbic system, specifically the hippocampus. Now this affects focus and attention. And then the prefrontal cortex region of the brain. These affect socialization, situational awareness, and the ability to self-calm and regulate. Secondly, ADHD isn't just hyperactivity. An overwhelmed body and brain can cause brain fog, focus, and attention issues. And if not addressed, it can be a huge energy drainer for our kids. This is actually quite common to see with ADHD, especially if they have struggled with all 4 causes above, to be more wound up and tired out instead of hyperactive. When the system is in sympathetic dominance for a long time, high energy, low sleep, constant stress, it eventually burns out and demotivation, tiredness, and grumpiness set in. Thirdly, yes, genetics can influence these behaviours, but not nearly as much as we think. The nervous system, the vagus nerve and its development play a much greater role. In studies by Dr. Bruce Lipton, a PhD biologist who studies epigenetics, it is estimated that no more than 15% of our genetic code determines our outcomes. This means that 85% is up to us. We are massively influenced by our internal and external environment. This is incredibly encouraging, meaning that even though dad may struggle with attention, focus, etc., it doesn't mean that their kids will too. Fourth and finally, putting it all together. Kids struggling with ADHD most commonly have a significantly imbalanced and dysfunctional nervous system. This condition is known as dysautonomia. The most common presentation of dysautonomia is an overactive and an excessive response within the sympathetic fight or flight accelerator pedal of the nervous system, and therefore an underactive and understimulated parasympathetic brake pedal side of the brain and the nervous system. The automatic, called the autonomic nervous system, is stuck, out of balance. The accelerator pedal remains stuck on. Our work as pediatric chiropractors focuses on addressing the subluxation, the stress that's stuck in the nervous system, and vagus nerve dysautonomic challenges directly. We get the sympathetic nervous system unstuck and in turn activate and stimulate the parasympathetic or the brake pedal side of the nervous system with each and every adjustment. While each individual adjustment is able to stimulate and activate the nervous system in a certain way, it really takes time and repetition to make long-lasting changes within the brain and the autonomic nervous system. Most parents and caregivers begin to report positive changes in the first few weeks for younger children and over a matter of a few months for older children. And many others can experience some very quick changes. The term for this change via time and repetition is called neuroplasticity, and it's a natural and normal part of brain development in kids and also extremely important in the recovery from traumatic birth and brain injuries. We start first by taking an in-depth, personalised case history on each child. And then our most exciting aspect of our work is that we can directly measure a child's subluxation patterns and dysautonomia via an incredible piece of technology, which is called the Insight scans. This is the most essential step in helping a child with ADHD find drug-free care options, as it allows us to narrow down to the foundational root cause elements discussed throughout this entire video. Remember, it is always your choice and there are options, even though you may have been led to believe otherwise. ADHD isn't genetically predetermined, and with it rooted in the nervous system, the brain can adapt and change. If you have any questions, please feel free to send us a DM. Second, again, please share this video with other parents, family, and Facebook groups who you know need to hear this. Third, click on the link below to find out more about our Insight scanning technology. I look forward to hearing from you.